Kayla.K.Keane, and welcome to another of my live streams. So, in this video, I'll be talking about the real estate process here in Jamaica. So, I'll discuss the issue with you as well as allow you to ask me your questions. For those of you who are first time subscribers and are watching my live for the first time ever, welcome to the Future Millionaire family, and I do appreciate your presence here. Today has been quite a busy day for me, but I hope that you are all ready and raring to go. Let me just go ahead and connect one of my devices, another device, so that I can see your questions when that time comes. Okay, I see Sashmolo, Sashana Ingram, and Timoy O'Brien all saying hello. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining and spending this part of your Sunday evening with me. I do appreciate you all, and of course I know that other persons will join as soon as they get the notification. All right. So before I start this week, I do have some special thank yous to give to you, my subscribers, who are always so awesome and are always keeping me up to date on everything that you want to know. But not only that, you are also watching the videos, you are also inviting your friends and family members to subscribe, and you have been doing so well at that. So for that, I want to say a big thank you. My last video, which was about the townhouse in Bellevue Heights in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, is doing really well. And I want to say thank you guys for that. It's just been up for like 2 days now, and it's already at like 1.4K views. So thank you very much for that. I see you guys have already been acquainting yourself with each other in the comment section. I see Donna Brown, hi mommy, saying hello beautiful bee. Hi, thank you for watching, mom. Timoy and Sash Molo are talking in the comments. And CM says, yes, Medea, thank you so much for coming. And you guys know the drill. Soon as you get on, hit the comment, hit the subscribe button. And if you are already a subscriber, go ahead and hit the thumbs up icon that will tell me when you like my content. I try to make content for you. So if you don't like something, you will see me making less of those videos. And whatever you do like, I'll make more of those videos. Because, of course, the channel is all about you. And I want to ensure that the content I'm making is the content that you want to see. So I normally tell you every week what I'm going to be drinking. And this week is no different. This week I am drinking Crystal Punch, as they say in Jamaica, otherwise known as water. So I'm having water this week. For those of you who watch regularly, you know that my throat gets dry when I talk a lot. So I have to keep drinking. Oh, Sashmola is asking, did you eat? Well, when I got home, I rushed and ate a little of my dinner. I couldn't eat too much because I was going to be talking on here right after, so I couldn't eat too much. I just had a little bit of the dinner just to ensure that I wasn't starving. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. I do have an essential service job, and today we had a little emergency, so I never get to eat and do my normal stuff on time. So as soon as I got home, I tried to hurry up and get something to eat. But as I said before, I have a special shout out for you, my subscribers. I wrote down the name because I didn't want to forget anybody, but I still feel like I'm forgetting persons. But here goes. A very special thank you to the following subscribers who watch every week. They constantly are talking in the comment section. They give support in any way they can, and I really appreciate you. And I think it's actually good not to think about the fact that I appreciate you, my subscribers, but to actually tell you that I appreciate you. So the following persons, I want to say a big thank you. CM Sashmolo, Maggot007, Shay Monroe, Garth Dwyer, Joan Thomas, WN Mac, Earth Strong, Dwayne Bennett, Donna Brown. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but if I am, big up on a cell. Oh yes, I know who I'm forgetting. Lucas J.A. I also want to say thank you. Thank you all. You guys made the channel lively. You made the channel worth coming to. Like as I said before, today I had a really busy day, and at one point I had in the back of my mind that, oh my god, I might not make it home in time for the live. But I really rushed home because I wanted to be with you, because I know that you guys are used to having me here on a Sunday evening. Special thanks to Michael Thomas, who is my graphic artist here on the channel. So all of my lovely thumbnails is created by Michael Thomas. Thomas, sorry. So I just want to say thank you, Michael. Dwayne, I just gave you a shout out, but you were not here to see it live, so you're gonna have to watch back the video. Good day to you too. Uh, CM says, I am eating scrambled eggs and baked bean for my dinner. Thanks for the big up. It feels good to be appreciated. Yes, guys, I truly appreciate you. And I cannot go without saying, CM says, good evening, Kayla and subscribers. Right, so oh, you saw it, Dwayne. I'm so glad that you did. Okay, so as I said, all the graphics on here are created by my graphic artist, Michael Thomas. So if you have the need for any type of graphics, just reach out to him. I'm going to link his number underneath this video so that you can call him. I'm also going to link his Instagram page so that you guys can give him business. When persons do really well, I believe that you should, give them a shout out, load it up, talk about it. And so I want to do that. So if you have a small business or a big business and you want to promote stuff, Michael Thomas is definitely the person who should work on your flyers, on your business card, all of that jazz. All right, so you know what the main discussion is going to be about. Today we're talking about real estate stuff. But before we do that, let's do the normal format, which is we pray and then we move into the main discussion segment. So, Lord, as we come before you this evening, we give you thanks for the opportunity to be here virtually together to discuss things that are uplifting, things that are good, things that are beneficial, and things that will help us to be strong. Father, I ask you to give us an open heaven. I ask you for favor concerning the areas of finance and real estate. And anything that I forgot to ask that my subscribers need, I ask you to grant it also. In your name I pray. Amen. All right, so I see Mikey T007 responding. He's doing the dab and he says, thank you, Kay. Much appreciated. You are most welcome, Michael. All right, so let's go into, if you don't have any questions, if you do have questions, go ahead and ask them. For those of you who are joining for the first time, the way I normally do my live is that I allow persons who have questions to ask them in the first part of the live, in any part of the live. You can ask your question right throughout. So during the discussion, I'll stop, acknowledge the questions and answer them. So if you do have questions, go ahead and ask them now. And if not, we're going to go ahead with the discussion. So, one of the first things, okay, I see a question coming from Kimisha Williams. Click on the button there, Kimisha. Kimisha says, so recently I went to the NHT with all the required documents. They did both interviews in one due to Corona. I believe we are in the waiting process now. Do you know how long before they contact you? All right. So when you say you went to NHT, as in your name was on the list for the houses the scheme houses? Is it that you were shortlisted for the scheme house? Is that what you're saying? And you did the interview and now you're waiting? Which interview? There are several different types of interviews that the NHT does. So let me know which one of them you're referring to. Is it the pre-approval interview? Let me know, and then I'll be able to better answer that question there, Kimisha. All right, so while I wait on Kimisha to type her response to me, let me continue. So one of the main things that we want to talk about as it relates to acquiring a house is, of course, money, finances, right up front. you know, on this channel, I mainly talk about finances and real estate, and now both of them are actually going to combine because money is one of the most important things when it comes to buying a house. Okay, so Kimisha says no. Open market loan interview for mortgage. Okay, Kimisha, give them about 6 weeks, I'd say, and if they do not respond to you by then, you go ahead and reach out to them. So give them some time because of Corona and everything. They're tending to take a little bit longer to respond to customers than they normally do because they are down to a smaller staff and so on. So just go ahead and give them some time. It would have been nice though to ask them during the interview how long should I wait for a call back. But you should get your call back or an email and they will respond to you timely. But I do pray though, Kimisha, that you are successful and that everything goes well on your behalf. And when you get through, don't forget to tell me, okay? Right. So as I was saying before, the first thing that you want to think about, you're welcome, Kimisha, she said Stan. Right. So the first thing that you want to think about when you are going to buy a house or you're thinking about acquiring property is your finances. Sometimes we like to dream about owning a home. Of course, all of us do that. And some of us are not actually making the actual preparation that it will take to acquire a property. Because if you want to own a home, all is good and well. But as soon as you actually start to acquire the property, you're going to see that you will need a lot of money. So one of the first things that I want to encourage all my subscribers to do is to become financially stable. Now, what exactly do I mean by financially stable? So some persons have a lot of loans, some persons have a lot of responsibilities that are that's basically pulling them in several directions. So you might be earning $100,000, but your monthly bills is coming up to $200,000. And some of you, you can tell me in the comment section, have you ever done up your budget? And then when you do your budget, what you recognize is that you're actually spending more money than you earn. If that has ever happened to you, let me know in the comment section. So you write up your budget for the month or for the week or for the fortnight, depending on how you get paid. And when you write the final figure that you get for the period, you're actually spending more money than you are earning. So if you are that person, it means that you need to find a way to stabilize yourself financially. And some of the ways in which you can do that is by firstly cutting back on your expenses. So I know that everybody tries to make the pandemic seem like the worst thing that has ever happened to humanity and everything. But I think there are some positives and there are some lessons that we can learn from the pandemic. Of course, my heart goes out to everyone who has lost a relative, everyone who is currently suffering because of the virus, everyone who is ill, everyone who is in hospital. I reach out, I am very compassionate towards them, and I have suffered myself because of what's going on. However, I believe that there are still some positives. And one of the positives is because you don't get to go out as much, it shows you that you really can curtail some of the expenses that relate to you constantly going out, constantly enjoying uh, your home, enjoying family, enjoying things that does not cost you a lot of money. And Sash Molo is saying yes. When I wasn't financially literate, so yes, she's saying yes, she used to spend more than she earned when she was not financially literate. Right. So sometimes you find yourself going into your saving account to basically balance yourself out. Or if you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to save $10,000 at the end of the month, for argument's sake. When the end of the month comes, you are not able to save that money because you have already overspent on different things. And some of you, when payday is close to approach, you are literally on empty. You feel like you are dying because you don't have any money left. So that is one of the first things that you need to address when you are trying to buy a property. And then we're going to move on to saving and investing. But firstly, let me look at the comments. I see some persons commenting. Let me just look to see what they're saying. Uh, Dwayne says, when hire a lawyer, at what point do I pay the lawyer fee? Hiring a lawyer as it relates to purchasing a property. So there is a retainer fee, but generally speaking, you pay the attorney. Well, you pay them for two things. You're paying for the sale agreement, which the other attorney normally, well, both attorneys charge. To draft the sale agreement, they'll charge you for that. So that's one fee that you'll have to pay the attorney. And then you're going to have to pay a percentage of the cost of the property also. So you're going to pay your lawyer twice. Yeah. So once the sale agreement is drafted, you're going to have to pay at that time. And then for the sale to be completed, you have to pay them again. All right, Dwayne. Uh, Sashana Martin says hi. Hi, Sashana. Uh, Zamari Cummings says thank you very much. You're welcome. So yes, so that's one thing I mentioned. So for those of you who are just joining, we're talking, of course, about purchasing a property here in Jamaica, and I'm talking about the issues relating to finances firstly. Now I see one of my friends who is a realtor in the US. She's actually joining, and she just commented. Autumn Rain. She says the first thing that you should be taking out that should be taken out your payment is out your pay is your savings, paying yourself. After that, if you can't fit your expenses into what's left, review your budget and start cutting. Exactly. And in the video where I reviewed a book. I don't remember which one of the books it is, but I think I only reviewed one book or two books. So you can type in book reviews and you will see it. I spoke about, let me see if I can search and find out the name of the book so you guys can find it easier to search. And I'll also link it in my description. But in that video, I spoke about the name of the book is The Richest Man in Babylon. Right. So in that video, I spoke about paying yourself first. And if you plan to own anything in this life, you have to practice to pay yourself first. In that book, it teaches you that 10% of everything that you earn is yours to keep. And if you are not keeping anything from what you are earning, you're not going to be able to make some simple purchases, much less to purchase a home, right? So saving and investing is my next subtopic under finances. So we're trying to get the money aspect of the property sorted out. Because truth is, if you're broke, you can't buy nothing. And that is just the truth. If you don't have any money, you're not going to be able to buy a property. NHT is just giving you 6.5%. That's the highest amount that they will give you. I don't know anywhere selling for 6.5%. And if you do know somewhere selling for 6.5%, it's probably not moving ready. You're probably going to have to do a lot of repairs. And what repair costs again? Money. So let's get the money part right. So saving and investing. So as I was saying earlier, if you want to buy a house, saving is a must, but investment is even more important. So I know we grew up talking about, yeah man, save, you must learn to save, you must learn to save. And some of us had a piggy bank when we were growing up. However, saving can get you so far and no more. Because the truth is, a lot of us have saved, and when we go back to the bank, there is less money there than we put in. Talk to me about that in the comment section. You ever save your money, and when you go to the bank, they deduct money from it, saying that, oh, you have to pay this fee and you have to pay that fee. I remember in particular, I had to close my Bank of America account because they were taking $12 per month for maintenance. And I was not going to pay 12 US dollars to maintain any bank account because at the end of the day, I am doing business with them. They get to keep my money, invest it over here, invest it over there, and make more money on it. So why should I be paying you to keep my money on top of the fact that you're already using my money to get uh ahead. CM says yes, $6.5 million, not 6.5%. Definitely. All right, so let me just jump in the comment section a little bit and then we continue our discussion. Knox Kelly says, can non contributors purchase from NHT? Thank you for asking that question, Knox. That's a very frequently asked question. And the answer is no. To purchase from the NHT, and when I say from the NHT, I'm referring to the NHT scheme properties now, NHT properties, NHT development. You have to be contributing to the NHT. So the requirement for you to firstly contribute to the NHT, you have to be a Jamaican. So once you're a Jamaican, whether you're born a Jamaican, you're naturalized, but you must have Jamaican citizenship. Once you have Jamaican citizenship, what you're gonna do is if you are living in Jamaica, you contribute for 1 year, and after 1 year, that's 54 months, 54 weeks, I beg your pardon. Once you have contributed for that amount of weeks, you will now qualify for a NHT uh, loan. If you are not living in Jamaica, but you are Jamaican, what you need to do is to contribute to the NHT for at least 2 years. So that's the difference with a Jamaican living in Jamaica and a Jamaican who is living abroad. So I hope everybody got that. Let me just jump in the comment section and then we go back to the main discussion. Um, Zamari Cummins says, yes, I need to close my account at NCB. That's what they are doing. Uh, CM says, Zamari, you mean NCB, not NBC. Yes, he means NCB. So I read the correct thing. Right. So we need to be cognizant of what we're doing if we want to purchase a property, especially here in Jamaica. I know that in other jurisdictions it is not as confusing or difficult to buy a house. And I don't necessarily think it's difficult here in Jamaica. But if you don't have the strength in your pocket, is going to be significantly more difficult for you to purchase a property. Uh, so, so saving and investing is important. So the difference now between saving and investing is that you will, when you save, you just put your money in the bank. So if you have $10,000 that you plan to save on a monthly basis, you'll just go to the bank and chuck the $20,000 into the bank account. If it's 20,000 you're planning to save, if it's 10,000, you just chuck it into the account. Now, when you talk about investing, you look at putting your money in the bank in a way that you can get back something on your money. So as opposed to saving, where they will tell you, oh, I have to charge a bank fee for maintenance, or we had to charge it because they use the ATM. When you invest, you put your money into a more long-term type of investment that will give you greater yield on your money. For example, if you say I'm going to go ahead and put your money in a particular investment that will give you 5% yield annually. Let me see what's going on in the comment section. I saw Dwayne saying something, he deleted it. Autumn Rain says, Dwayne, you can do both and use your rental income to pay your mortgage. I think Kayla discussed that last week, if I'm not mistaken. Dwayne, I don't know what you sent. You deleted it, so just go ahead and send it back. Maybe you had a typo, so you deleted it. Just go ahead and retype so I can benefit from what you were saying. Right. The next thing that I have on my list for sorting out your finances towards buying a house is gifts from family members and friends. You see me, I don't believe in begging or asking people for things. But I feel like the one time in your life it's okay to ask for things is when you're buying a house. If you plan to buy a house, don't be afraid to ask grandma, grandpa, anybody at all that you're close to assist you with whatever you might need. If you need a $50,000 and it's not going to stop you from buying the house, don't be afraid to beg. Because at the end of the day, a house is an investment that is worth doing. Because especially here in Jamaica, I have never seen where it's easy for property value to go down. Even when the area is not so good, the houses can still sell at a good price. So there's a very, and one of the things for that, of course, as we have discussed, is the foreign exchange rate and also Airbnb. So because we have a lot of foreigners competing for Jamaican property, and you know that a lot of persons buying properties out here in US dollars are not Jamaicans, they or they are Jamaicans who are living abroad who have stronger currency and they're able to afford more expensive properties. So because of that, the price for house don't go down because persons can afford to pay it even when it is exorbitant. So if you plan to buy a house, you have to get the money thing right now. All right. The next reason why you need to get your financing sorted out if you plan to buy a house, remember, there is you have to have 10% of the value of the house for your deposit, right? You have to have 10% of the value of the house for your deposit. So what that means, if you have, if you're going to buy, say, something for $10, you need to have $1. So work out the value of the house that you want to buy, and then calculate 10% of that and see how much cash you're going to need to have to purchase the house. But generally, I tell all my subscribers try to save 20%. Reason why I said that, between the attorney the closing costs, stamp duty, all the other fees that will be borne between the vendor and the purchaser, you will probably need 20%. Furthermore, if you bought a house and the paint stripping off the wall, maybe it's a really good house, but it does need some, touch up here and there. It would be nice to have the money to actually paint the house before you move in, so you can move in and at least feel like, hey, this is home. And there are fixer uppers, which some of us will have to purchase fixer uppers that will need some little touch up before you move in. I mean, you will have your grand repair over time and you can fix sections at a time. But if there's something that needs to be done, no. The person selling you the house not going to do it. You will have to undertake those projects. If the lawn want to cut, you don't want to leave yourself desperate where when you buy the house you can't eat a meal. No. So that is why it is important to save your money from now, to invest from now. So if you plan to purchase in the next 10 years for argument's sake, you still need to be saving and investing from now. So that when you see a dream property, you can run it down. You see, most of the times when you see a house for sale in Jamaica, by the time you see the house gone. Has that ever happened to any of you? Even when you're renting, by the time you see the house in the paper, by the time you go to visit and see the house, it's already gone. So it's very important for you to have the money with you, to have money at least. It doesn't have to be with you. Angela Brown says, good evening. Good evening, Miss Brown. Thank you for joining. Right. So it's important to have the money so that when you have the money, you don't have to end up in a circle. And Kimisha Williams says, that is true. I underestimated all the hidden costs. Right. There are lots of unknown or hidden costs associated with purchasing a property that if you don't know, you just don't know. The attorneys know, but most Jamaicans do not know. And I actually did a whole video on that, so you can go ahead and watch it after the live. It's also, for those of you who are just joining, we're talking about purchasing a house in Jamaica. I am talking about the financial obligations associated with it, firstly, and things you need to do, steps you need to take financially to ensure that you're able to afford the property of your dream. So, one last thing that I want to remind you on the financial aspect of things is that the NHT will only give you 6.5 million. That's the highest amount that they will give you. But just want you to remember that. So if you think that they have a lot of money to give you, they do not. Okay? 6.5% in a grand scheme of things is not a lot of money. Most of you want houses that will value at $20,000, $20 million. I beg your pardon, because those are the houses that look good. Those are the houses that match the style that you have in the back of your head. So if you want that, you're going to need to have some sort of cash. waiting for you. So liquid assets, you know, or assets that are easily liquefied, things where you can sell quick and get the money in your hand. Then, if you don't understand what liquefied means, right? So you need to think about it. It's not something to just get up overnight and think you're going to see a house and you're going to just buy. You need to plan, you need to prepare yourself, and you need to have money saved up so that you can buy the thing that you want when you see it. uh, Sandra Troward says, you have to save, and make a lot of sacrifice. Yes, Miss Troward, you must do that. And the thing is, I don't want any of you to see a house and you love it. It's everything you've ever dreamt of, and then you can't buy it because you don't have the money. For those of you who are just joining, also remember to like the video, okay? Go ahead and like the live. And don't be afraid to talk to me in the comment section. Ask your questions, leave a comment if you agree or disagree, say that in the comment section. I don't like when you all are quiet, okay? Right. So the next thing I want to talk about is mortgages. And I've already done a video on that also. So when you're thinking about buying a house, it is important for you to know who you're going to get the mortgage from. Who will I use as my mortgager? Right? And the reason for that is because remember that different companies charge different amounts for mortgage, different interest rates on mortgage. So you need to shop around to see which company is going to give you the best interest rate. Because at the end of the day, that is very important too. Because if I'm going to give you a loan and the interest is going to be at 10% and bank B is going to give you a loan at 5%, why would you take one for 10% when you can take one for 5%? It's obviously going to be easier for you to pay the bank that is charging you 5%. So please shop around from now for where you want to get your mortgage from, even before you spot a property. And I was saying last week that one of the ways in which you can find a good mortgage company that will match your financial situation, that will suit you, is to go through a mortgage broker. So they will basically look at all of the banks, do the comparison for you, take your credit report to each of the bank, get the feedback, and then tell you which one of those company will give you the best interest rate. All right, Autumn Rain says, Kayla, would you advise persons to save an emergency fund just for their new home to offset expenses that will pop up, such as increasing property taxes that can force a homeowner into foreclosure? Well, firstly, the first thing to do is to have an emergency fund in general. And if you already have an emergency fund, there's nothing wrong with saving an emergency fund for your home. You might not want to call it an emergency fund for your home, but you could invest more into your emergency fund so that you have more money. And obviously, the more money you have, the more things you can do. So if you buy the house and you feel sick, and we cannot overlook these things in our future millionaires, we have to think about them. As Autumn Rain rightly said, we have to think about them because if you purchase your home and then for some reason there's an act of God, just like Corona now, nobody planned for this pandemic, nobody at all planned for it. So if you lose your job suddenly, this emergency fund could help you to pay a month's mortgage, which can prevent you from going into foreclosure. So saving is not just for before you earn the property or buy the property, it's also for after. So think about it for the long term. Think about it for the long haul, right? And one of the things that I normally encourage persons to do too when you do purchase your home is that you should Dwayne is saying, Kayla, you missed my text. Let me just scroll up back in the comment section to see what it was. Dwayne, I think you accidentally deleted your text. So I could not have seen it because you deleted it. The last comment I'm seeing for you is when it's about lawyer fee. So go ahead and type back your comment because I think you actually retracted the comment. I saw the comment and then you retracted it. So that's why I haven't responded. Right. I lost my train of thought. But anyhow, um Yes. So for the interim, for the new persons who are here for the first time, you've never watched one of these lives and you don't know what to do to start to kickstart the journey into purchasing a home. Let me talk to you for a little bit. So if you're using the NHT, it means that you have to be Jamaican, and if you're living in Jamaica, you'd have to be contributing for at least 1 year. If you're living in the US, you have to be contributing for at least 2 years. So the first thing you are going to do is to go to the NHC to get your pre-approval letter. To get your pre-approval letter, you do need a couple documents. You need your national ID. You do need a job letter from your job if you are employed to a company. You need your TRN, and you are supposed to ensure that your payments are up to date, okay? As well as have your NIS with you. So just let me repeat for those of you who looked away for a second and you missed something. If you're going to apply for a pre-approval letter from the NHT, which will basically tell you what your loan amount is going to be, you need your ID, TRN, NIS, last three pay slips. If you're self-employed, a bank statement so that you can prove to the NHC that you have money and you can pay the people them loan if you are granted a loan, okay? All right. So once you go ahead and you get your pre-approval from the NHT, once you get your pre-approval from the bank, which is the next step after you have gotten your pre-approval from the NHT, because remember, the $6.5 million more than likely is not going to be able to purchase anything at all. So you're going to get the additional money from the bank. So now that you have your pre-approval letter from the NHT, you'll take that to the bank and get a pre-approval from the bank that will tell you how much they are willing to lend you, and then you are going to know what property you can afford. So if you are watching now and you want to buy a house, but probably you're nervous, it's the first time, nobody in your family has ever purchased a house, you're kind of worried, you're kind of not so sure. Those are the first two things that you need to do. Get your pre-approval letter from the bank, get your pre-approval letter from the NHC. That way, you can look for a $18 million house if that is what you can afford. You can look for a $50 million house if that is what you can afford. Because it makes no sense to just look at houses because they're pretty. You need to be looking at what you can actually afford and things that make sense. So when you see something and you like it, you can put in your offer because you can actually afford it. Furthermore, some realtors will not even take you for viewing if you don't have your pre-approval because they feel like you're going to waste their time. So ensure that you have this. Autumn Rain says, does the NHT fund investment properties or just residential? Any type of properties. Once you're a first time homeowner, that is what they are keen on. If you own a house already, you can't buy a house with NHT's assistance. But what you can do is access a loan to fix up the property that you already own. And for those of you who want to buy land, you can go ahead and buy land from the NHT also. For those of you who don't want to buy a home, you don't want to buy land, but you have a parcel of land, you can access a loan from the NHT to build a home on that land. It's called the Build on Land Loan. So you can go ahead and go into the NHT or call them on the phone and ask them about the Build on Land loan. For those of you who are not interested in living in any NHT scheme or buying on the open market, but you want to build on land that you already own. All right. So one of the things that somebody asked about last week is home equity, right? And I thought that I should speak about that a little bit to get persons uh, to better understand what we're talking about when we talk about home equity. So I wrote a little definition just to get you to be clearer on what we mean when we say home equity. So home equity is the market value of the owner's house unencumbered interest in their real estate. So let me go again. Home equity is the market value of a homeowner's unencumbered interest in their real estate. To put it simply, that's the difference between the home fair market value and the outstanding balance of the lien on the property. So let me go into it and explain now. So home equity, for example, say I am the bank, right? And you are the homeowner. So you come to me and you say, all right, I want a loan for $20 million to purchase a home, right? So NHG has approved you. So I say, all right, come on, I'll give you the $20,000. So I loan you the $20 million to purchase the home. Let's go again. So I am pretending to be the bank. You are the customer. You come to me for a loan that is valued at 20 million Jamaican dollars. So I say to you, since you have your pre-approval from the NHT, I am also going to approve you and I'm going to give you the loan for $20 million. Remember that you have to pay 10% for the deposit, hands off, right? So the bank not giving you that portion. So you go ahead and through the NHT and the bank, as well as with your deposit, you purchase the house for $20 million. You might not have wanted the full loan from me, so say you paid 5% of the cost of the house. So let's say a couple years have passed and you're paying your mortgage, so you have paid back a portion of the loan. So let's say you have paid up 40% of the value of the $20 million. So that is what home equity is. So you basically own a piece of the house, but you still owe the bank some amount of money. So that is what home equity is. The portion of the home that you own will not have nothing to do with the loan that you took from the bank. If you guys understand, tell me in the comment section. I hope I did a decent job explaining what that means. So that's what home equity is. So the reason why that is important now is because you can borrow against the equity that you have in your home now to buy another property or to make some other financial moves that can help you to build your wealth. Autumn Rain, let me know in the comment section if I did okay with explaining that. She's a realtor. And if not, you can go ahead and put your own spin on it so that I can, educate my subscribers. Oh, and by the way, a quick reminder, remember that I post videos every Friday at 3 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. I go live. I do have a 9 to 5 job that is not so 9 to 5 y, so it might require me to work on a Sunday. Like today, I went to work today, and I'm a part of the essential services, so I'll be required to work sometimes on a Sunday. If I don't go live at 6 p.m. on a Sunday, what I'll do though is post a video at that time. So either way, you guys have me for 6 p.m. on a Sunday and 3 p.m. on a Friday. And for those of you who are late, thank you for the heart, the love on my last video. It's doing really well and I'm really happy that you guys like it. All right, let me just scroll through the comment section to see what my subscribers are saying, and then we can go back to the discussion. All right, so Capleton Hall says, excellent job. The explanation is the best I have heard. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but I feel like it's a little bit difficult to explain home equity. But yeah, that's the simplest I can break it down. But if you guys don't understand, I can try to break it down some more though, because I got you. You know this. All right. Sandra says, what happened if you finish paying for the property with the national housing part? Can I get a loan, home improvement loan? Yeah, man. Yes, if you want to fix up your property and you finish pay off your NHT part, of course you can get a home improvement loan. In fact, once you qualify for it, I don't know that you even have to pay it off. If the home needs improvement, yes, you can get the loan. Once you are approved, you can get the loan for improving your house. So for those of you who are on here and you are homeowners already, I still want you to watch on a weekly basis because there are some benefits that you can access to. So don't just say, oh, I have my house already, so I'm not going to watch nothing. No, you can still access things from the NHT. And there are also grants that the NHT offers. And I think one of my lives I'm going to do straight NHT benefits. So all of the things that you can get from the NHT. A lot of people think that, okay, I don't want to buy a house, don't want to buy a house, so I don't need to know anything about NHT. And that is not true because a lot of benefits are just sliding over them head and they're missing them. For example, if you have somebody living with you who has a disability, say you have a son or daughter with cerebral palsy, you can actually get some benefit from them in the form of a grant to assist with things having to do with your house. So, for example, you have a child that uses a wheelchair. So, you know, you can't just have the regular staircase because the wheelchair can't go up the staircase. You need a little ramp. So, you can also get some money from them in the form of a grant to assist you with building that. Uh, Capitan Hall says financial institutions should employ you to explain that. And I plan to do some more talking to myself about it to refine and get an easier explanation. I see myself as a teacher somewhat, and I like to explain things to people in an easy way that they can understand. And that's why some people don't take finance and real estate matters serious because some of the things are a little bit difficult to understand, and then there's nobody bridging the gap and breaking it down for them, which is one of the main reasons why I started my channel. Uh, I see Sashana Ingram sending some hearts. Gizzy, hi Gizzy. Jay says, hey Kayla, do you know about the escalation costs in development? What's the percentage of those? Is it a percentage of how much the house is valued at? Do you know how to calculate? No, Gizzy. I don't know how to calculate escalation costs in terms of new development. I could talk to either one of the contractors though on those, or the NHE should be able to help because they do some of that. So no, I can't answer that question just yet. Can somebody on here just screenshot it? Sash Molo, if you're still here, screenshot it and WhatsApp it to me, please. I'll have somebody check on that for you, Gizzy, and I can answer that next week. Autumn Rain says, yes, that's right. Equity is the difference between the cost of the house and the balance on the loan that is left. Awesome. Autumn Rain says, the amount that you have paid off is the amount that you own in the property. That's equity. Excellent. Uh, Courtney Buchanan says, hey, how do I apply for NHT for an NHT loan? Okay, Courtney. By the way, if there's anybody here that is new, just type your name in the comments. Just say hello in the comment section so that I can welcome you because I think it's the first time seeing Courtney. So Courtney says, how to apply for an NHT loan. All right. So firstly, Courtney, you're going to need to apply. You're going to need to be contributing for 1 year if you're living in Jamaica, if not for 2 years if you're living in another country. And then you're going to apply for a pre-approval letter from the NHT. To apply for that, you'll need your TRN, your national identification card. A passport could work too. You're going to need NIS TRN, ID, and your 3 last pay slips. If you don't have those and you're self-employed, you'll need a job letter. But if you're employed to a company, you're going to need that. If you are self-employed, you're going to need a bank statement. I said job letter incorrectly a while ago. The job letter is for persons who are employed to a company. So let me go quickly again. You need your ID, you need your NIS, you need your TRN, you need your 3 last pay slips, and you need a job letter if you're employed to a company. So go to the NHT with those 5 documents and ask them for a pre-approval letter. You can also go on the NHT's website because of Corona, they're doing this, and do your mortgage calculation yourself so that you can tell the bank that, hey, I did my mortgage calculation on the side and this is what I got, and I need a pre-approval letter from you now, which is the bank, which is the second thing you're going to do, Courtney. So once you get that letter from the bank, it basically tells you from the bank and the NHT together, that amount tells you how much you can qualify for as it relates to a property. So it basically lets you know your affordability. So what you can buy. Can I buy a $12 million property? Can I buy a $50 million property? Can I buy a $10 million property? That is what you will know after you have done that. Once you do that, you are now ready to purchase your property because you know what you're looking for. So you can approach a realtor and say, hey, I can afford $20 million based on what the bank and NHC told me. You have any properties for that range? I prefer to live in these 5 areas. So once you do that, then you can search their listing until you find the property that you want, and then you go ahead and buy the property. When you decide on a property that you want to buy, keep in mind that you're going to need to have 10% of the value of the property in a cash so you can pay the 10% closing cost of that property, right? So that's basically what you need to know. You have to pay your lawyer, of course, because it is not, I do not recommend that anybody at all tries to buy a property without the help of an attorney. Because there are documents that you're going to need to sign that needs a stamp that you don't have the stamp, so you're going to need a lawyer to do that for you. And I also always tell my subscribers, when you are buying a property, do not just go to any lawyer because the person has a law degree. Hello, for you that put down the phone and walk away, when you're ready to buy a property, do not just use any lawyer because they have a law degree. You need to try to find a conveyancing attorney who is skilled, trained, and has practice in the area of real estate. Okay? All right. Courtney, did I answer your question? Let me know in the comment section. Let me see what the other persons are saying. By the way, future millionaires, Courtney is new, so I want you to go ahead. You know how we do it over here, and give Courtney a big welcome in the comment section. Uh, let me see what's going on here. All right, so I answered Courtney. Courtney says, how much will I be qualified for within 2 years after paying for the NHG as someone who lives overseas and contributes? I don't know how much you earn, Courtney, so I can't tell you how much you would qualify for. You need to ask the NHG that question. It is not a wholesale thing, it is person by person. All right. So Sashana Ingram says, thanks, Marine, for the equity info. Awesome. Chronicle of Thea says, good night, hon. Good night, Chronicles of Thea. Thank you so much for joining. Marine says, you're welcome, Sashana. Courtney says, hello, I am new. Awesome. Sandra says, I finished paying for my property and I collected my title. Ask about a loan, but it sounds so stressful to me. Too much documents. I think it can be simpler. Right. So you have to go through the bank solely now, Miss Trowers, to buy your second property. And I don't think it's all that confusing. Are you self-employed or are you employed to a company? Let me know. It shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be difficult to get another loan to purchase a second property. The only difference now is that you know you're not going to have the help of the NHD. Uh, Christine Brooks says, hi Kayla, how long does it normally take for the NHD to approve a loan after doing the interview? I hope I pronounced your name. Kishan Brooks, sorry. Yes. Uh, there is no set period of time in my head right now. I'll have to double check on that, but usually a couple weeks though. But because of Corona, I can't definitely say because they are taking longer to do everything now. For example, before Corona, when you go to the NHT for a pre-approval letter, you get it the same day. You just wait a little and then you get it. Now it's taking up to a week, so everything is delayed. So I don't know what to tell you exactly. It's best that during the interview, when it comes to an end, they normally ask you if you have any questions for them. It's best to ask them. WN Max says, hi, Sparkles. Hello. I said thank you to you in the earlier part of the video. You're going to have to rewatch it to catch that. Dwayne says, I'm tired. Why my text not answering? Can anyone answer? So Kamisha Williams says, Dwayne, we cannot answer because your text was retracted. But I already told you that, Dwayne. We're not purposefully scrolling past your text. You deleted, you retracted your comment, so I cannot see it. If you are seeing it, I cannot see it. So you're going to have to retype the comment if you want me to answer. For the persons who haven't liked the video, um, so Gizzy J says, what stage in the buying process does a lawyer get paid? Okay, I answered that question earlier, Gizzy. So let me just answer for you. So you have to pay your lawyer for two things when you're purchasing a property. Firstly, you'll have to pay them for the sale agreement. So they will do up a sale agreement and you'll have to pay them for that. And then secondly, you'll have to pay them once the sale is finalized. So you'll have to pay them a percentage of the cost of the property. That percentage is not fixed. So like the deposit is fixed. It's usually between 5 and 10%. I say 10% because it's nobody now gonna tell you say you have too much money, but they'll tell you that you have too little. So 10% is a good amount to have for the deposit. As it relates to the lawyer, every lawyer is different. If you choose a more seasoned attorney, you're going to pay more. And if it's a not so seasoned attorney, you'll obviously pay less. But you can talk to the attorney of your choice and ask them how much they charge as it relates to conveyancing stuff. But I can't give you a figure because I don't know which attorney you're going to use and what they're going to charge. Autumn Rain is responding to Dwayne. Dwayne, if your text is no longer available, if your text is too long, it won't show. No, and his text wasn't too long. It was retracted by him, maybe accidentally. I saw the comment and then it was taken off. I can't answer it because I don't remember what it was all about. Brooke says, thanks, you're welcome. Autumn Rain says, I think that's the issue. No, his text wasn't too long. His text was about 2 sentences, but by the time I could read it, it was retracted. I can't talk and then read the comments in my head at the same time, or you will see me getting a little bit confused. Whenever you see me getting confused, is when I'm trying to do that. So I just try to talk and then stop and read. So Sandra is saying, I'm currently employed, but the whole thing sounds confusing to me for the home improvement loan. Oh, so you spoke to the NHC? No, man, the home improvement loan is not confusing. So what you need to do is reach out to the NHT, let them know that you're already a homeowner and you want a loan to fix up the house a little, to do a little refurbishing. It's not hard. If it's not hard to get the first time loan, it's not going to be hard to get that. Trust me, it's not hard. Just breathe a little and approach it again. So tomorrow, Monday morning, bright and early, Miss Sandra, call the NHT, let them know what you need, and do your thing. For the win, guys, when you send a comment, if you send something, if you send a comment and you say, oh, I no longer think this or I no longer want to say that, you can actually delete your comment. It will come up on my screen as being retracted. You and I are the only two persons who can delete your comment. I can delete it because I have admin, and you can delete it. So the way you deleted your comment, so you're gonna have to go ahead and type it over, please. All right, Papa. Kamisha says, I just check half is paid at the start and the other half when the process end. I was buying, so that was the arrangement with my attorney. Okay, Kamisha. Some of them don't take it at the beginning either, they take it somewhere down in the middle and at the end. Yeah, so it's not like my attorney, because I have a good relationship with her and I've been building that relationship. So it depends on you and your attorney. And I've noticed that Jamaicans don't make it a habit in having a relationship with a lawyer. Same way you go to the doctor every 6 months and you get your checkup, you should have a close friend who is an attorney, or befriend your attorney because it will help you in the end. Just saying. Autumn Rain says he said he resent it twice. So maybe that's the issue because it happened to me. Oh, okay. Thanks, Autumn Rain. That was very helpful. Kimisha says he was asking at what stage the attorney get paid. Oh, but we've answered that several times. Not sure if he was the one asking the question, but I know that Gizzy was asking. So your attorney get paid twice. if it's a new attorney that's new to you and they don't know you, you don't have a relationship, obviously they're going to ask you to pay just as you start the conversation with them for the sale agreement. They're going to ask you to pay for that quickly. And some of them will charge a retainer fee that has nothing to do with the other charges. However, however, the final charge that they will charge you is the cost for to undertake the sale, so to speak. So they'll charge you a percentage of the cost of the property. So the more expensive the property that you're buying, the more expensive the cost that you're gonna have to pay. All right. So if you want a property cost 30 million versus a property cost $10 million, more cost for the property, more lawyer fee you'll have to pay. All right, Dwayne. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened with your comment. Uh Sandra says, I will go in to them and find a very oh, I will go in to them. I find them very courteous. Probably I was nervous. Okay, possibly. Don't be afraid. Just do your thing. And if you want the money, as my grandma used to tell me, whoever raw meat seek fire. So you want the money and you want your house look better than how it already look. Go ahead and approach them. It's your money, your contribution, your taxes or taxes. So don't be afraid. WN Max says, Kayla, do you think the NHT is value for money? Since most young people won't be able to buy a property until they reach old age. All right, WN, I don't know how to answer that. You can go ahead and tell me what you think in the comment section. But I do know though that NHT, and it says it in its policies, that it favors persons who are older. Because even on the list, the last list for the home that had young persons on there, because we're speaking up about it, they're trying to be more inclusive. But the so-called young person was in their 40s, so I don't know if that's young, 40 is young, but when I was thinking young, I was thinking 20 something. Yeah, so hmm. Brooke says some attorney charge 2%, some 3 of the property. Yes, some charge more to 5 and 6 and 10. So yeah, I can't give you a figure because what your attorney will charge you. For example, if you chose my attorney, she's still probably going to charge you different from she'd charge me because we have a relationship where, we know what's what. So yeah, that's why I said build a relationship with your attorney. Give them business too. You're writing your will, give the attorney. Once they are able to do it, give them some business. And then, over time, you give them business, over time, they're not going to try to kill you. But if you go to a new attorney, they don't know you, so they don't have any compassion towards you or the fact that you are just purchasing a property and you really don't have it. But if you have a relationship with someone, then they will be able to, you know, assist you as best as possible. WN says, unless of course they have parents to assist them. Yes, that's another option for persons. If you have a parent who has contributed to the NHT and they have not used their contributions, they have not accessed their benefits, then you can go ahead and use mommy and daddy or daddy's benefit. And of course, that's for persons who have biological parents or your birth parents, aunties and uncles. Unless them adopt you, you can't benefit from that. WN says, I think unless the NHG is revamped, it seems more discriminatory on age. Autumn Rain says, isn't that ageism? Shake my head. Yes, it is. It is. But as young people, we have to work around the system. So one of the things that I encourage my subscribers to do is to look for home on the open market. And my last video was very strategic because I recognize that a lot of you on here who are younger are not getting through for the NHC scheme properties. So the house that I did is a house on the last video that I did, the 3 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom townhouse. That's a open market property. So if you're interested in that, you can buy it on the open market, which is something that can help young people if I wouldn't say stop looking for NHE scheme properties, but it shouldn't be your end all be all. Start looking around, start asking questions, start checking the newspaper, start checking with some realtors, start checking on the open market. Don't be afraid to go out there and look, because we're not all going to purchase from the same place. My throat getting really dry. Um, double enters because 40 is half of one's life. Yeah, 40 is young, but I mean, you're big people when you reach 40. So I think they should try to give younger persons house. Chronicle of Fear says they are forcing young people to build. Well, that's not a bad thing. If we can find land, we can build. The issue is, as a young person, where are I going to find money to build a house after I find money to buy land? That's the issue I'm having, which is why I encourage people to buy on the open market. Because after you spend your money, remember, land can't live on just so. So you're going to have to pay rent. So now you're going to have to be paying back for the loan on the land, and you're going to have to pay rent. So I don't even know if it makes sense to buy land just so. However, if you have parents who, if you have family property, family land, if your grandmother died and left land for you, your grandfather, your mother, whomever, then I think that's a great option. If you have a piece of land, that's a great option. However, as I've always said, and I will always say this, if your mommy giving you a piece of land, let her go down to title's office and change over the title to your name. If your mother have half acre land and she want to give you a quarter acre, change out the quarter acre into your name. Because if you, for example, have brothers and sisters, when your mother yeah close, and I'm talking in Jamaican patois now, because people need to understand this. When your mother dies, a problem for that same piece of land. So I do not encourage anybody to build on anybody things that not in them name. All right. So with whomever giving you anything, let them give you with your name on the title. Cause when them dead, problem in your life. Chronicle of Fear, they are forcing. Yeah, I read that already. Kishan Brooks says we do have a relationship with our attorney. We know her since childhood, so she will work on it for us at an agreed rate. Okay, that's excellent. That's what I'm talking about. We have to partner for our own betterment. Let me see. Yes, so I just want to quickly remind you. I always telling you this, and I want to get this stuck in your head. And for those of you who are watching for the first time, get your pen and paper quick. I'm going to just run you through some of the costs that you need to keep at the back of your minds when you're thinking about purchasing a property. These are costs that persons don't readily tell you about, but they're things that you need to know about. So I'm just telling you, okay? You need to know about your stamp duty, right? So once you decide to purchase a property on the open market, this is one of the advantages with purchasing from the NHT. When you purchase from the NHT, you don't have the whole heap of additional costs associated with purchasing the property. But when you do buy on the open market, you're going to have to pay some additional costs, right? So these are things like one, stamp duty, two, registration fee, three, you're going to have to pay your attorney for preparing the sale agreement, and you're going to pay them when the sale comes through. You're going to have to pay some miscellaneous expenses. For example, if the property, light, water, the utilities is in the name of the previous owner, they're not going to allow you to have it in their name in case you run up the bills and so on. So you're going to have to pay to change those over to your name. So those are some of the fees that you're going to have to pay when you purchase a property. Or additionally, you might have to pay for a valuator report if you, I would not use the vendors valuators report, because they might be colluding and they might prop up the cost for the property a little bit. Like if the property worth 17 million, they might try to tell you that it's worth 19, so they can sell it for 18, but they know that it's actually 17, so you'll actually lose $1 million there. So you might have to pay for a evaluator report. You might have to pay for a structural engineering report if it's an older property. And structural engineering report is, as the name suggests, just to check if the structure of the property is good. And if there's a crack in the wall, they need to find out, is the house going to tumble down 2 years' time? Because I'm sure you wouldn't want to invest your money into that. You'll also have to pay for a surveyor's report. So those are some of the costs that are not so upfront, but they exist, and you'll have to find money to pay for them when you purchase a property. So I think those are most of the points that I wanted to cover this week. For those of you who are just joining, please remember to like the video. The like button is over here. Just click it. And if you are seeing the word subscribe over here in red, it means you have not subscribed already. So you need to click the red subscribe button and let it turn gray. If the subscribe button is not gray, that's not cool, okay? So just click the subscribe button and turn it gray. If it's red, you haven't subscribed. All right. So, in my final minutes with you, I want to field questions. So, whatever questions you have, you guys know how I am. Although my lives are usually about a particular topic, if you want to ask anything at all, you can ask anything, right? I normally call them Ask Me Anything Live. So you can go ahead and ask your questions and I will provide an answer for you. I see persons are still joining. So we spoke about several things having to do with purchasing a property today. And I'm currently waiting on you to quickly type your comments in the comment section to ask any questions about finance, real estate, anything at all you want to know about. For those of you who have left your Sunday evening activity to join me, I really thank you for doing that. WN Max says, would you encourage people in common law relationship to buy property? Um, yes and no. Generally speaking, WN, it's better to, for me, and I'm going to, this is my opinion. In my opinion, it is better for you to know if you are in a stable relationship with someone before you purchase a property. Personally, me not buying a house with nobody that I'm not married to. Because if I'm not married to you, if I can't make that commitment, why would I make the commitment of purchasing my largest asset with someone? Personally, I ain't doing that. Period. But there are people who have great relationships that are common law who, for whatever reason, don't want to get married, but they do have a solid relationship. Uh, yeah, they can if they want to, but I would advise against it nonetheless. But some people do have a solid relationship who that's common law. And not because you're married doesn't mean everything is perfect. And not because you're in a common law union doesn't mean that everything isn't perfect. So it's subjective, but personally, it's a no for me. You guys can comment in the comment section and tell me if you would buy a house with somebody who you're not married to. So the question is, would you buy a house with your girlfriend or boyfriend? So you're not married. Would you buy a house with them? Let me know in the comment section. As I said before, me not do it. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Period. I ain't doing that. But if you want to do that, that's fine also. But just let me know in the comment section if you would do it or you wouldn't. So just comment I would or I wouldn't. I would or I wouldn't. Um WN says are married people. He's laughing. Autumn Rain says it's about how they hold the title. Shamika says so true. And she says, so Shamika says, no, I wouldn't. Chronicles of Thea says, I wouldn't. Come, people, load up the comment section. The question is, would you buy a house with somebody who you're not married to? Your girlfriend or your boyfriend? Knox Kelly says he would. Well, I don't know if he's a girl or a boy. Knox Kelly would. Right. So, yeah, tell me in the comment section if you would or wouldn't. I know it's different for different people. And as I say, some persons who are not married have some really great relationship, and some of them don't get married for particular reasons. But because I'm one of the persons who believe in the union of marriage, so that is why I say I wouldn't. But I know not everybody wants to get married and so on. Dwayne says, why ladies want a relationship with a man that can help them? Why ladies want a relationship with a man that can help them? Okay, so we're getting into the ask me anything part of the discussion now. So Dwayne says, why ladies want a relationship with a man that can help them? For me can help the man too. So I want the man to be able to help me. One hand cannot clap. Me have my one hand for clap. So yeah, him to have one hand for clap too. And I mean, for example, myself, what I ask for is what I am in a relationship. So I'm not one of the women who say, oh, yes, you must be able to buy me a Benz, but I'm driving a Lada. No, if I want a Benz, it means I can afford a Benz for myself. Um, Lowen says, but man is the opposite. Well, your problem. Some men only want women who can help them too. So maybe you're choosing incorrectly. So maybe you should choose women who balance you out. I think couples are supposed to balance each other out anyway. So I don't see the sense in, for example, if I am a very ambitious person, say you are a very ambitious person, why do you want to take up somebody who is not ambitious? No. If you are working, I am working. We're always, going out there to get what we want. Why we must take up somebody when not work and not going out there to get? I don't have time for that. So I just say, whatever I want is what I am. So I don't see any issues with that. Hold on, let me catch up with the comment sections. Autumn Rain says you can, but you wouldn't hold a joint title. It means you can buy out the other person if push come to shove. Yes, that's true, but not even that, because you know how Jamaica is, and you know how some Jamaicans are, and maybe because I've seen so many things with people fighting over things, I can't be bothered with that. So I just feel like it's better if my title is clean with only my name. If I'm not married, I don't see the sense in putting your name on my title, and I'm not buying anything with nobody. And that's on Mary Had a Lamb. But yes, that is an option. WN says, I wouldn't, because when you're not married, you shouldn't get the benefits of marriage. Wow. Um, Kishan says, if you have children and we are going to leave it for them as a legacy. But if I have children, I can still leave my house for my children without putting my partner's name on the title. I can just will it to them. Yeah. Garth says, hello, good evening. How are you doing? How is curfew going in Jamaica so far? Hi, Garth. Thank you for joining. Garth is in Canada, guys. Curfew is going well. I'm a part of the essential services, so I actually had to go to work today. But yeah, it's different for me because I get to go to work still. So it's a little bit different for me, I guess. But curfew is going well. I think the others should answer how is curfew. The persons who are not a part of the essential services and can't leave them house. Not even your gate you can go. Sandra says no, she wouldn't buy a house with somebody who she's not married to because she see the trouble coming. So, Miss Sandra, you see the trouble coming from far, don't it? Autumn Rain says, but I definitely wouldn't purchase with someone other than my husband or wife or a business partner. Yes, me too, Autumn Rain. I agree with you. All right. So it seems as if, okay, Rohan Johnson says, what do you think about the Patrick City neighborhood and Pembroke Hall? Both of those are good neighborhoods. They are quiet though. Both of them are quiet, especially Patrick City is very quiet. So, what happened in the quiet areas in Jamaica is that you will tend to see where the likelihood of you getting robbed is a little bit higher than the not so quiet neighborhoods. So, if you do live in those communities, those are good communities, but they're a little quiet. So, look out for robbers I would suggest, if you want to buy a house in those communities, have a automatic gate. So you just drive into your property, and when you live there, you try to get to know everybody as quick as possible. So if anything happen, you can have somebody to ask. You see nobody go up the road or whatever. It's good to live good in general with people when you live in Jamaica. So if something happen, you can get redressed quick and so on. But those are good neighborhoods. Kishan Brooks says, explain joint tenancy, sole proprietor, and tenancy in common. All right, that sounds like a question for the attorney. So I can bring on an attorney and she answer those questions for you, Kishan. They're not really difficult, but I prefer a professional in that area. That's law. I prefer a professional deal with them. WN Max says, buying a house is one of the biggest investment one would ever undertake. It can cause some serious bad feelings. It's better to do it alone as much as you can. Bad feeling, Autumn Rain says, or a realtor. Yes, that's true, Autumn. Um, Bad feelings is one thing. WN, bad feelings is one thing. But I'm not so concerned about the bad feelings. What I'm concerned about is the legal ramifications. Me can't take the legal drama. And some of these things, our court system, a lot of these cases tend to lament, just like buying a house with tenants in there. And that's why I encourage my subscribers, do not, as best as possible, buy a house with tenants living in there, because it is easier for me to pull out all 32 of my um, teeth than to get those tenants out. Yeah, it's easier to just go to the dentist and say, extract all my teeth, than get those tenants out. So yeah, man, problem. WN said that's what I mean. Definitely. All right, guys. So I have spent the better part of my evening with you. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me. Thank you for being responsive in the comment section. I really enjoyed spending time with you, but thank you so much. This channel is really for you, and anything you need, just leave a comment under the video. I'm going to upload it now, this same video. So anything you need, just leave a comment. I'll be going back through the comment section to look at all the questions, and anything that needs a more detailed response, I'll provide it. Not just me, but with the help of an attorney and a realtor, as Autumn Rain has suggested. Thank you all for everything that you have done to ensure that my channel continues to grow. Thanks for watching the last video that I posted. And if you have not watched that already, please go ahead and do so when the live ends. So that's it for this evening. But see you on Friday at 3 p.m. for another video, and on Sunday at 6 p.m. for another live stream. If you are just joining, sorry you come late. But thank you all for being awesome. And until next time, stay financially literate. Bye bye.